Hello, this is a review of the Coast HP6 very powerful LED flashlight. And inside the box you get, of course, the flashlight, you get the batteries, you get a carry case, and it has a belt loop on the back so you can run it through a belt if you like, and you get a hand holder that you can connect to the end over here, and of course you get a product pamphlet, literature information, and the instruction sheet for this flashlight if you need it. And there it is inside the case. But honestly, it's so small, although it's a bit long for sticking in your pocket. I still prefer to just stick it in my back pocket. That's one nice thing about the size of this guy is you don't necessarily need to throw it in a case. Now it takes two AA batteries and is as long just for the reason of the two batteries stacked end to end. And that's notably different than the HP5, which it takes a single AA, and the HP2, which takes a single AAA. And that's where you get the main size difference. Size-wise, it's a little bit longer than your standard pencil. Obviously it's thicker as much as a battery. So it's longer than some of the other Coast ones that were shorter than pens and pencils. So it gives you an idea compared to pens and pencils. Compared to other flashlights, I think that the Coast flashlights are very remarkable. I'm really happy with them. Now let's take some comparisons. So here of course we have the HP6 and we look at some other LED flashlights. So of course there's supposedly LED, so they're supposed to be powerful. Well, this is a crank flashlight, right? That's just completely anemic. Same thing for this one here, right? These are just anemic by comparison. Gets blown out of the water by this guy. A better comparison will be first about the incandescent lights. So, you know, you might be used to the incandescent light bulbs. They're really old school, but this is what you used to get. Of course, this guy just completely blows it out of the water compared to the incandescent one that we just saw. So that's really actually an unfair comparison, the old school incandescents. So maybe a better comparison is another LED flashlight. So this is a supposed 6 LED flashlight. So this is supposed to be really powerful. It's much thicker, but we can see here it actually is a respectable light coming out of it. You can't focus or unfocus, so I can't get the flood perspective on this here. But let's take, so you see what we have there. This guy still blows it out of the water. So whether I go narrow or wide or somewhere there in between, this thing is noticeably better than this supposed 6 LED flashlight that I have here. Another difference that I think is notable between the two is that this one still feels nicer in your hand because it's nice and small. It's only as thick as the AA batteries inside, plus a little bit for the metal. It does get wider for the head that can be focused. But this one here was a rather thick one. You know, it's less comfortable in my pocket. So obviously you'll have some differences there. So compared to other LED flashlights, I still really prefer the Coast products. They do seem like a better built product. They feel better, they click better. Overall, I will definitely always pick these up over picking this one up. Now compared to other Coast flashlights, here we're reviewing the Coast HP6. I also have the HP5 and the HP2. Now, I absolutely love my HP2 because this guy is so small, it easily fits in my pocket and still cranks one heck of a lot of light coming out of this little guy. Now, it pales still in comparison to the tons of light we get out of this guy here, but compared to which fits in your pocket easier, I really, really, really like this one here because this one where I run around if I'm doing wiring behind TVs or things like that, this can stick in my pocket. Now this can still fit in your pocket, you just got to leave the end sticking out. So you can go ahead and throw it in your back pocket and the big end sticks out. So because of the mobility of it being able to forget about carrying this, I just put it in my pocket and you barely even feel it, then it makes a big difference in which ones you want to carry around. So of course the middle ground between the two was the HP5. So this HP6 uses 2 AA batteries and this HP5 uses a single AA, and you get 170 lumens out of the HP6 and 112 lumens out of the HP5, and it does make for a noticeable difference. So again, here's this one we're reviewing right now. That's the HP6. Here is the HP5. Now it makes a noticeable difference, but in practical utility of actually using it, honestly, the HP5 is plenty. So if you're looking for something that more easily fits in your pocket and you want something a little bit more powerful than the HP2, then the HP5 is a slightly better alternative than the HP6. So I tend to pick this one up as my second choice and my first choice when I want to run around the house, I always pick up my HP2. Again, it's not as much light output as the HP6 over here, but it really fits easily in your pocket. So again, the HP2, the HP5 still fits in your pocket, just a little more bulky, and then the HP6. Now, when I really want more light, then I go for this, the HP6. So this thing's the best one of my Coast flashlights in terms of light output, but it doesn't fit in your pocket quite as well. But I still also think it fits better in my pocket than alternatives compared to this guy, and of course this thing's a non-starter, sticking that in your pocket. Now it outputs 170 lumens, so let's compare that to your average 60 watt light bulb, in my case a 57 watt light bulb. But here I have my Philips 57 watt light bulb, which outputs 780 lumens. So 170 is still going to pale in comparison to a standard 60 watt light bulb. So don't expect it to light up the room as much as a lamp was, but it's quite impressive where it is shining. Construction wise, it seems like a really nice well-built flashlight. From end to end, it has a really nice feel to the metal case on it. Has a rubber button at the end as well, and you have a high and low setting, high, low. To get the difference, you just click it twice. So once for on, off, on, and that's how you get it low. And by the way, it's only flickering because of the video. It doesn't actually flicker in real life. And the head moves up and down this way to control the focus. So if I go ahead and turn it on, so we get a nice, really even floodlight. And so that's one thing I really like about all of the Coast flashlights is you get this nice even flood. And then those that support focusing, you can narrow it in, pull it in or out as you see. And you do that just by pushing and pulling on the head. So you see how I'm pushing and pulling? By the way, about the high beam and low beam, the high beam is really what you're probably going to want to be using all of the time. The low beam seems to be about 10 to 20%, maybe about 10 or 15% of the actual brightness. In a completely dark room, it might be somewhat useful, but honestly, just carry some extra spare rechargeable batteries in your pocket and use it at full. It is so much better on full. Now let's take a look with the lights turned off. So here is just my little crank LED flashlight for one comparison. It's kind of anemic in comparison. Then I have my usual incandescent flashlight, the kinds we used for years before, right? So this one I have here, it's kind of like the haunted house vibe. It's just really kind of light, just a specific area. And let's compare this to this HP6. Right? It just blows it out of the water, right? I mean, in terms of what you can light up, it completely lights the area that I'm looking at compared to the old school incandescent that I had here. But let's give it a more fair comparison. So let me turn on the other 6 LED light that was supposed to be powerful because it had 6 LEDs. But it's again how useful those 6 are. Now this does a respectable job, but let's compare that. So here's this my comparison LED flashlight. Here is the HP6. It really is a nice, clean, even flood. Now remember, we can still focus it and unfocus it. And now let's compare some of the other Coast flashlights as well. So this is the 2 AA battery HP6. Here is the single AA battery HP5. Now it is a noticeable difference, but honestly this is still really good in comparison. My HP5 that I'm holding here. And of course we still have this little HP2 that I absolutely love. I think it's an amazing amount of light out of this HP2, just as an FYI for comparison. This one isn't focusable, but holy cow, this thing sure does light compared to other the incandescent bulbs. If I go back now to the other LED light that we had been comparing before, we see some of the differences. So here's the HP2. Here's the HP6. And again, here's the old school incandescent. So in summary, these anemic lights, I'm never going to use them again. There's no reason to ever use these old incandescents again. They're just anemic in comparison. Compared to the 6 LED flashlight that I had before, it's just not as comfortable in my hand. It's not as even of the light output. It doesn't feel as great. I don't see a need to keep using this. So I'm going to keep using my Coast product. So this was my absolute favorite. This was my second choice for what still fits in my pocket. And when I really need some light, then I go with this one. Thanks for watching my review.